Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show, the HHW Show podcast, presented by the CMG Sports Central. You can also catch us on our website, hhwshow.com. I'm with Heck V, and big shout out to our boy Frank. We
Mhm.
miss you. Hope all is well, and we can't wait until you come back to the show. But speaking about the show, the bunch of comebacks, we have Randy Orton and CM Punk coming back on Raw. And of course, the breaking news and everything else, everything was lit on social media. The return of CM Punk in Survivor Series. And the best shape that I could say is Randy Orton. Man, that dude, he looks stocked.
Yes, he does. I mean, whatever he was doing during his time off, I mean, it's working well for him because he looks better than he has 20 years ago when he first came. I mean, this guy looks rock solid.
Absolutely rock solid indeed. And man, he did not miss a beat with his RKO, or shall I say
Mhm.
the famous three letters of wrestling, professional wrestling promotions of all time, RKO.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Wow. That's all I got to say. But well, let's break that down, man, because we got that. Plus, we also have um, Randy Orton and Jey Uso meeting face to face, also Randy Orton face to face with Rhea Ripley. And then we also got to discuss a potential upset that could happen in the tag team division. All right. And of course, we'll end it with the question that I want to share with everyone as who are the two deserving people better than Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. Okay. And we'll start off with CM Punk, who came back for almost nearly 10 years from the WWE, something that I've never thought that he would return. But, but there has to be a but in there. Okay.
Oh,
I could probably understand why he returned. Okay. And that specific person is no other than Vince McMahon. Since he's not running the show anymore, and most of the rights were already sold to another company, the TKO production or whatever, right? I
hmm
think that gave momentum for people to now come back, those that stepped away because they didn't want to deal with Vince McMahon and so-called this dumbest idea for storylines and stuff like that. Finally, I think that that's out the window.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But sometimes I feel like it could be a two-way street. You had to, participate in the divorce, I should say.
Mhm.
You can't tell me that these superstars who include CM Punk were all innocent on why they left. They probably
Right.
had a part in it too. Whether they antagonized it or they just let it, for Vince McMahon to act the way he did, whatever the case may be. Both
Right.
parties had to be wrong
There's
somehow.
always a two-way street,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. But being back and a lot of video coverage or cell phone coverage, so I say, was on all over Twitter about how Seth Rollins' reaction was seeing Punk coming back, right? And smart remarks that Rhea Ripley said towards Randy Orton about him, like, somebody else up the game, right?
yeah.
In that sense. But for seeing Punk to return, he had a strong message, really, for just a few minutes on camera time, which I was a little disappointed. I really was because, look, I do watch Monday Night Football every Monday night at least, right? But the game was boring, right?
Yeah,
Vikings and the Bears, they were boring.
right.
And I was like, nah, I'm watching Monday Night Raw tonight. And I watched and I watched. And then I'm expecting CM Punk to come out while Seth Rollins is in the ring. And that didn't happen. And I said to myself, okay, I am watching another AEW segment with just CM Punk. That was just exactly what happened. He came on, said what he had to say, and then of course WWE signed out. That was it. And I was like, really? Like, and I get it. You don't want to put everything, you front load everything, and then at the end, it's gonna get sour. So it left me with a bad taste. Like, man, I should have just recorded it and watched it the next day, right? So I lost some sleep, and that's okay. But it was worth it because it was CM Punk. If it was Hulk Hogan, I don't care. If it was Stone Cold, I don't care. If it was The Rock, maybe I'll stay because that stuff is real funny, right? But there's just some things that he said that I would like to address with you, Hector.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he said, everyone has welcomed me in open arms. Almost everyone. Now, you and I know that he's talking about Seth freaking Rollins.
Right.
But some people are afraid. Now, that's a key word because he said that repeatedly, afraid. All right. What do you think he meant about being afraid?
I don't think he meant that in a literal sense. I think he's maybe referring to the fact that some of these superstars who are on top right now, like the Seth
Mhm.
Rollins, like the Roman Reigns, who are taking over, being the face of the business, that they're worried that CM Punk is now back and he's going to take that back. He's going to be the face of the WWE. He's going to take the reins and he's going to take the ball and run with it. He's going to be the top dog on Raw and even maybe SmackDown, whatever the case may be, because he was able to do it when he was there before. He spoke it real. I mean, he told the truth. A lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people did like that. Sometimes we couldn't tell what was real and what was story with him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so now people are worried that he's going to overshadow everybody and everything and become the face of the WWE. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, why should you be afraid? Why there should be fear? I don't understand because um you have a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at any given moment, somebody else could take the reins, right? It's like next man up type deal, right? And another superstar comes. Remember, everything's contract. Like everyone gets a contract. There's not a guarantee of anything, right? You're
Yeah.
getting paid. You got so many time with the company, whatever. You got to do the best you can. And when you have that opportunity, you got to take it. Most superstars, even the past, say the same thing over and over again. When it's your time, you got to bring it. Like The
Yeah.
Rock says, team, bring it, right? And if you can't bring it, if you can't handle it, then I guess you don't belong there.
Yeah,
And I
you're
just,
right. I mean, no, you're absolutely right. With any job,
Mhm.
if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing at the level that you're at, then you should not be worried about the new face that's coming in or the old
Mhm.
face that's returning. Sometimes we get to that point. I know I've dealt with that, in my previous jobs. You have somebody leave and then they come back and all of a sudden they just take over. They just like never lost a step. They just picked up
Right.
right where they left off at. And that
Mhm.
could be discouraging. I mean, Seth Rollins is the face of Raw. Roman Reigns is the face of SmackDown. They're both the champions. But here
Mhm.
comes an old face with a new generation. It could be a little intimidating. Like, look, I mean, why are you back? Why are you here? Are you trying to take the spotlight away from me? I- It's
Well, yeah,
possible.
I'm glad that you said that. You're trying to take the spotlight away. Well, is your game right? Because if your game is right, you shouldn't
You
be
know,
afraid of anyone taking your spotlight.
right, right.
And for
Absolutely right.
Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, they're in. They're glued. They're the it factor. There's no one really gonna take that spotlight away. I mean, look how many times Seth Rollins changed his character and still there. I mean,
Yes.
that's phenomenal. You see Roman Reigns grow to where he is now. No one ever saw that coming because people doubted Roman Reigns, right? So no one's taking that.
Right.
However, I do see that these consecutive days of championship is going to come to a near end soon because CM Punk is back. Because if you're not matching the same quality, I mean, look what he did. There's news about they broke records of the most viewed Survivor Series. The internet blew up for all these clips of the return of CM Punk. CM Punk is the man. And if you want to, and a lot of people want to say, well, who should be a Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling? I'm sorry to tell you, but the number one person that should be there is CM Punk, because there is no one else. And you could argue with me, debate with me, oh, The Rock, Stone Cold, whatever. No one has the biggest pop and sports entertainment than CM Punk. Over 23 million viewers? Come on. There's nobody top that. I'm sorry.
It's
CM
surprising you.
Punk.
It's surprising you saying that. Seeing how a couple of shows ago you're saying that John Cena is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. You know.
Well, hold on for a
So
second. Hold on for a second. We're talking about a different category here, right? Because we could compare CM Punk and John Cena, and of course they met, and that controversy with champion versus champion. Remember
yeah,
how
yeah.
CM Punk walked away with the title and everything, But when the reason why John Cena doesn't get that pop is because they already broadcast John Cena. Oh, he's going to be here in 2 weeks. Oh, he's going to be here at this time. So there's never a surprise to see John Cena come back compared to who knew that CM Punk was coming. Nobody said that. Everyone always says CM Punk because they're in Chicago, right? You're always going to get those chants every single time. Now, this time it happened, So again, nobody knew. And I don't care how many people, how many packages say, oh, we knew because of this and that. Triple H put that squash to the end. It's like, look, this was developed short, sweet, whatever. It was the right time. Bam. I believe that 100% than listening to the other so-called journalists to say, oh, well, the rumor is this and that. Stop. You didn't hear it. You just made that up because, again, that is just a rumor, right? But CM Punk has to be the guy that face in there.
I mean, I would disagree, but I do say that he is top 10 of all time, the greatest, in-ring performer. And we're talking about every aspect of what it takes to be a superstar.
Okay.
Because, he knew how to do it in a way that you're going to either love him or hate him, just like they did John Cena. But John Cena was, for the most of his career, was a face more than a heel. CM Punk can sway it back and forward on a drop of a dime.
Right.
And, that's what made him so popular. And I get it, because to me, he was the only superstar for me as a fan that can confuse me whether is this a story or is this for real. Now, when you start cutting off mics and you start getting people from backstage coming down into the ring, then okay, CM Punk is telling us something that we shouldn't want this, we shouldn't know, but he feels we deserve to know the politics behind closed doors, behind the curtains.
But is it politics or is it everything part of the show?
Well, I feel like a lot of it could be the politics that we hear so many past superstars tell us on podcasts years later. He's just telling us now. And he's trying to mix it into a storyline to make us believe that it's just all a storyline. But if it is a storyline, then why was he gone for so long and waited till now to come back to finish the
so
story?
let me ask you this. If Vince McMahon was still be in production, would he have come back to WWE?
No, I don't think so. It's something that's personal more than business related, that Triple H is able to control the situation and sit him down and say, this is what it is now. This is what we need to be doing moving forward. Are you on board with it? Because if not, then there's no room for toxicity in my business.
Absolutely.
Because
and
I'm
sure that's what they talked about.
Right. Because I have my superstars in place right now. I don't need you, but being here is going to help make things better.
Yeah. And I think he's going to make the others better as well. Rather he wins some matches, lose some matches, it doesn't matter, because at the end, it's all about the mic. Can you step up on the mic against CM Punk? And I like that. I like it. This is the same as John Cena versus The Rock.
Oh, he put
Mike
the Rock.
versus Mike. But that's the rivalry, and I could see CM Punk and Seth Rollins having that rivalry.
So nobody can match CM Punk on that mic, not even John Cena. As great as John Cena is and was on that mic, because he embarrassed The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk even embarrassed The Rock. I'm sorry. CM Punk to me is the best mic skilled superstar there is out there. And until someone else prove me otherwise, he is the best, better than John Cena.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned about something about being real or not real, the differentiating stuff. But CM Punk did say in his small speeches, "I got to be me." Okay, I got to be me, and pretty much he's gonna be himself, true, not only with him but for everyone else to see. But he's also said, "I'm scared how true it is." Okay, scared how true it is. And he finally said, "I'm home." What do you think that meant?
You, I like the fact that he's being him.
Mm-hmm.
So many times in life, people pretend to be something that they're not, or be someone they're not because of the crowd that they're hanging around with, the people that they affiliate themselves with.
Right.
And he's telling all of us, I believe, that no matter who I associate myself with, who I'm surrounded by, I am still going to be the same person for so many years ago. And it could be a scary thing. It could be his downfall. Hopefully not.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that will elevate him, and maybe it's scaring him because it's an eye opener. And what comes around goes around, and who knows, he may get a dose of his own medicine later on in life with this newer generation.
I don't
Things
know. I
change.
think he already got his dose of medicine when he was wild AEW and the fallout that things happen over there. But it's interesting to see what's going to happen in the near future with CM Punk. If
Mhm.
there's anything rumors speculating that he will have his rivalry with Seth Rollins, and then after that to jump on to Roman Reigns. I don't know how much of that is true, but if there's anything that I saw within the last couple of weeks is I believe that Cody Rhodes might have another opportunity to cross over and chase Roman Reigns because of him going to SmackDown and trying to help LA Knight. That's
Yeah,
one thing. But hey, well, let's move on because another factor here, it was Mark Henry has said something on his podcast. He said the ones the ones that are like, oh wait, I'm sorry, hold on. The ones that are like, oh, I'm gonna retire if this person comes back. The ones who say, if he's here, I don't want to be here. Take your ass home then, because the business is gonna roll and roll and roll with or without you. Mark Henry on Busted Open Radio. And that's a takeaway on this because it doesn't matter. You're in the business. And in the business, and this is what CM Punk said at the very end, was I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. And in life, it's all about making money. As you go along, you're going to meet people. You will get along with others. You may not get along with anybody else, but the ones that you don't get along with, you still got to work with that person. And you have to deal with it because at the end of the day, that person you're working with, he's not paying, he or she is not paying you. Your boss is paying you. And that's business. You still got to get the job done.
oh, I absolutely agree. I mean, I deal with that right now, my job myself. You don't have to like me. I don't have to like you, but we both have a job that we got to get done within the 8 hours, that we have to do it as a team. We have to come to some kind of agreement to get this done so we can both go home at the end of the day to do it all over again the next day. And whether there's personal issues there or not, we have to put that to a side, because you're right. I'm not there to get paid to make friends. I'm there to get paid to do a job. And we have to come to some kind of agreement. And I believe that's what's going to have to happen between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, and even maybe Roman Reigns, because I know Roman had a few choice words himself.
Right.
And before
And that's
any,
probably why people assumed rumors that he's going to be targeting the top two stars in the industry.
But I believe, your management should sit everybody down in the room and let's get the elephant out of the bag here. Let's
I
address
think
the
it's
elephant in
already done. I think
the
it's already done.
I don't think
You're not just gonna take someone and not say nothing to nobody, and then boom, everybody knew the backstage that CM Punk was there. I don't want to believe that. Oh, I didn't know, and blah 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 blah, and then the reactions they got. I think that that's all planned. I love script and everything, but I think that bottom line is they knew that was gonna happen.
to me it's
And there's a secrecy that you have to keep. I'm not saying like they knew weeks and 3 4 months ago or 5 months. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that on that day and everything, something had to happen, or the day before. Look, come in. This is what's going on. We're gonna go with it. Roll with the punches. Boom. There you go. You know what I
uh,
mean?
it's hard for me to believe that because when you got Michael Cole, who's an announcer, holding back Seth Rollins, to me that
Yeah,
that that
I
that,
saw that. I
that
did.
just
I
doesn't
saw
seem
that.
scripted. And
Mm.
Randy Orton sitting in the ring
He
after
was
the match
laughing with Jey Uso.
going like this,
Mhm.
Rhea Ripley going like this. To me, it's just still like there was just animosity, and they didn't even have no beef with CM Punk.
No, of
Why
course not.
why why did Drew McIntyre have to leave all of a sudden abruptly before his music started playing?
Mm.
It's something that with CM Punk that he's rubbing people the wrong way by being as real as he is.
Well, Drew McIntyre went on Sunday night and to explain that he was upset because of the fact that he wanted the World Heavyweight Championship, and
Mm,
he repeated himself on Monday Night Raw. But we'll get to Drew momentarily. But moving on here, we saw Randy Orton confronting. Well, Jey Uso went up to Randy Orton, and I love this part because the takeaway is this, right? Is that Jey Uso made that first move towards Randy Orton, and pretty much in paraphrasing, yo, you still got beef with me? I'm no longer with the bloodline, the yada yada yada. And Randy Orton responded, well, look, Cody Rhodes took you, right? And I saw what was happening since I left. I know what's going on. You're good, pretty much. Okay. But
mm.
then I say to myself, man, you just don't trust Randy. I never will trust Randy because 1 minute you're good, the next thing you know, you're RKO'd.
You
But I think he was very, very sincere as to he's good.
you're right. It is hard to trust Randy because he's the Viper, the apex predator. He can't be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
He also said that he's going to get every member of the bloodline. Everybody. When he emphasized the word everybody, I have to believe Jay is still part of that
Mm-hmm.
because Randy Orton, it makes you want to believe two different things. One, that hey, in life, you can be forgiven because if I was a certain way and now it's happening to me, karma came back and it hit me, then
Mm-hmm.
yes, I can see it to where I could forgive you. However, the old side of him, I can't trust nobody and I'm going to get my revenge. So what if I did it to everybody? You can't do it to me. I'm going to come back and get you. So he's showing us two different perspectives, but I want to believe that he is going to forgive him because he's older and wiser. You
Right.
see,
I,
he's now a leader of the locker room now that he's back because of his tenure there, his seniority.
yeah.
So you
I like
want to
how you
believe
put that. I
so you,
like how
so,
you put
so
that.
you want to believe that,
Mhm.
but Jay is scared because he's wondering when is that RKO going to come?
Oh, yeet.
Yeet.
And yeet happened with an interruption here with Randy Orton and Rhea Ripley. And he goes and says, mommy this, mommy that. Guess what, Rhea? Daddy's back. And there's a little bit that I've seen that Randy Orton almost broke character because the people are responding, who's
Who's
your
your
daddy,
daddy?
right? And I was thinking about back then the rivalry with the Red Sox and the Yankees when the Yankee fans used to say that to Pedro Martinez, right? Who's your daddy, right?
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, I started laughing, and then like he tried to say something, and then the crowd reacted again, right? And he had to pause and re-say his lines again. Even though
Hmm.
he said a little bit different, but nobody tells Randy Orton what to do, and that is the truth. He don't take commands from no one, and that started when he got betrayed by the Evolution.
Yeah, definitely. After he won that championship title,
Mm-hmm.
he got betrayed. You're right.
Yeah, Triple H betrayed him with Batista and Ric Flair.
Hmm.
Um, but I do believe, and again, I know I'm jumping ship, but I do believe somehow, some way, um, that CM Punk and that Roman Reigns is just, I don't see that's gonna happen. If not, it's Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns because he's after the bloodline. But he has to finish his job now with the Judgment Day.
That's going to be hard to deal with one faction, knowing that you have it out for another faction. But if anybody can do it, is Randy because of his wisdom, his seniority there.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to make. I believe with his presence alone, he's going to make Judgment Day look good. I
Well,
think
let me
so.
ask you this: Will he have a faction?
Randy Orton don't need that faction like he did back
Oh.
then
I
because
still
I feel like he was being carried, and then when he went off and made his own little faction,
with Cody Rhodes
yes, and
and
DiBiase,
and
yes,
DiBiase Jr. Yeah.
yes, but now he doesn't need it. He can do things on his own. You
Mm.
have to be careful with the apex predator, no matter who you are or who you associate yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody can handle two factions at one time, it could be him because he knows what it's like to be part of a faction and what it is to do damage. So
Well, he needs to be careful because the one thing we don't want is him being absent for a long period of time. You know,
if he goes out again, that's it. His career is over with.
it might be that he maybe become the 15-time world champion.
That I would like to see.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I am down for
You know
that.
what else I like to see is a new tag team champion, and that's no other than these guys right here, the Creed brothers. Julius Creed and Brutus Creed went through a what's that called?
The gauntlet
Uh,
match,
well, they don't call it a gauntlet.
tag team
Gauntlet.
turmoil,
Yeah,
whatever.
it was a turmoil match. There you go. And I think they leave the gauntlet match for singles competition,
Yeah,
and they call it turmoil for the tag team. But regardless, they are now the new number one contenders, and they will face Judgment Day, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor for the tag team titles. And I gotta say, man, these guys are representing, and I think Julius Creed came from the University of Duke, who was one of the former wrestling champions there in NCAA. And then Brutus Creed moving up in the NXT, they partner off and they hit it right. And now they have their side kick, Ivy Nile, who's also a wrestler who's stepping back being a manager. But I kind of like this because maybe we could see Ivy Nile versus Rhea Ripley.
that'd be good. That'd be a
I
good
think
match.
so. I think so. Or maybe before, watch this, before they get into a match that the title match, then we might see the Creed and Ivy Nile together and then mixed tag team versus Judgment Day.
Possible.
I would like that.
If you're gonna go after the tag team titles, you gotta ease into this. You
Hmm.
and I'm gonna tell you, I believe that Randy Orton could be the X factor and everything. If he
Or
wants,
or you forgot one person, and that one person that we did not see was Sami Zayn.
hmm,
Sami Zayn still don't want the Judgment Day to exist. Yeah, they won War Games, but Sami Zayn does not want a repeat of the Bloodline on Monday Night Raw, and he will do anything to eliminate Judgment Day. And the only way you do that, you got to take something away from Judgment Day.
oh, you definitely got to take those titles away from Judgment Day.
Mhm.
In order for them to start falling apart, or there see be a crack in the foundation,
Right.
Dom is gonna have to lose the belt and the
Oh,
tag team
that's
titles.
already coming up.
You know what I'm
He's gonna
saying?
go
So
on
yeah,
NXT next week and lose to Wesley. Yes.
Rhea is gonna have to find herself standing alone with the women's championship to know that the fall of the Judgment Day is coming. But I
Will she
don't.
be blamed for all this that's happening? Because I feel like she's gonna be the target. She's going to be the one to be blamed.
If she's the last one standing with a title, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it could be.
Well, Nia Jax is still trying to get her way with her. She beat Zoe Stark. Who knows if Shayna Baszler is gonna go after Nia Jax again?
Hmm.
But they still want that title shot against Rhea Ripley, and I think it's coming soon. I really do. But let's move on to the next one because a former partner of the Judgment Day is no other than Drew McIntyre, and he stepped up in front of Seth Rollins trying to get another title opportunity. Now, I think he's going to skip the line after next week because Seth Rollins announced that there are two people more deserving a title shot than Drew McIntyre, and he named one of them, and that is Jey Uso. So I'm asking you is who do you think was the second person, the second deserving person for that title?
Well, I think is the one that everybody was surprised that came back. Our truth.
Are you serious?
I just thought I'd break the little monotony here of being serious.
Oh,
Hey, Triple H even said in the post game interview that hey, everybody was surprised with the big return of our truth. Nah, I'm just joking.
no. Yeah, he did. He did.
I,
Oh,
I
but
think
you know what? What killed me more was when R-Truth went in the Judgment Day area, munching and dirtying the whole entire sofa. Like how, like you could picture somebody be like, "Yo, why you up in here with your feet on my couch, eating? Like there's a table over there." You know what I mean?
he had that jelly roll all over him, that jelly donut all over him. No, but seriously, I think he may be talking about Cody Rhodes because he's lost 3 times to Cody since Cody's been back. And so
And
why
I
not
think
try
he
to prove
respects
himself?
him. I won't say he deserves it. I think he respects him because he was honest enough to step up to him, ask him, listen, for one day, can you not be my enemy? Can one day we get along and handle our business? Okay. Now he did Seth Rollins did check him at War Games, right? And then finally Randy Orton came out. And I think because of that and having a talk with Adam Pearce, I agree with you. I really think that he was talking about um Jey Uso and Cody
Cody.
Rhodes, the top two, because he already gave Sami Zayn a chance and Sami Zayn lost. Who are the other two? Well, the only two that Seth Rollins ever interacted was Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes.
Hmm.
I mean, he's not gonna go over there to Judgment Day and say, "Hey, Damian Priest, you don't want a shot on my title?" I don't think that's gonna happen.
No. And Damien better be careful with that briefcase because now that Randy's back, he's going to interrupt a lot of stuff.
Oh, well, I mean, listen, there's no beef with Damian Priest and Finn Balor have no beef with Randy Orton, right? And why did what was the point of Rhea Ripley wanting to engage with Randy Orton, knowing Randy Orton's reputation, right? Why would you? Why would you cross that line? Like there's just some. It's always say not all money is good money. That's not good money. You should have just left it alone.
She's trying
Randy
to prove
Orton was content. He just did somebody a favor. He had no beef with nobody. He's happy to come back, and she ruined it.
Yeah, she should have just let it be that he wants to go after the bloodline. Let it
Mhm.
be. Don't
Let it
start.
be.
Don't start. None. Won't be none.
Exactly. Exactly.
But she don't know what she's getting herself. She's going to get herself
Oh.
on an RKO, just like Nia Jax did.
Oh yeah, I remember that Royal Rumble. Yes,
RKOs don't discriminate.
she got the RKO. She got the 619. She got. I think didn't Dolph Ziggler do something with the kick? I think so. I
Yeah,
think
I
he
think
was there.
he hit a super kick on her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was like so many signature moves that are, at the end was the RKO's. It was
Well,
brilliant.
even Beth Phoenix got the RKO. Telling you.
Mhm. Yeah, she
So
is next.
yeah,
Rhea Ripley will get one.
she
And the
needs
Royal Rumble is coming up.
she
She
deserves it.
says she is mommy, right? Is she gonna be
Hmm.
mommy enough to get into that ring?
Yeah, we're gonna
Just
see who's
saying.
on
If
top.
she does, she's gonna get the 3 letters, right?
Yeah.
But what talking about deserving, this is deserving, and that is Jey Uso. Main event: Jey Uso will take on Seth freaking Rollins next Monday Night Raw for the World Heavyweight Championship. My gut tells me that this match is not going to end well for either of them, especially after Drew McIntyre assaulted Seth Rollins. Um, but however, Drew McIntyre does have a match with Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn was being real. All
Yeah.
right. Stop being a. Oh, I would have said things probably a little bit different. Um, but he's being a punk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Drew McIntyre, look, everything was says best, and you just got to continue moving forward. You can't rely on the past. If you rely on the past, you're never going to succeed.
Sami Zayn
Okay.
had a great point. He
Mm-hmm.
nailed it because he related himself into the situation, and Drew McIntyre did not want to take responsibility. He didn't
Right.
want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'm not trying to defend Drew McIntyre to a whole bit, but I do understand why he wants to be champion. Because when he was champion, it was during COVID. There was no crowd.
Right.
So he didn't get that feel of what it was to be a champion per se.
You did lose to Bobby Lashley, right?
Yeah, but he
Right.
got the
Okay.
belt back, but it was during the time of COVID.
Right.
He had nothing going on, and so that's still lingering in him. So, to his defense, in a small way, I could see why he wants to be champion right now. But there's too many heavy hitters lingering around for Drew McIntyre to go through before he becomes world champion.
I think Drew McIntyre is taking that role of Baron Corbin.
Mm,
And
gotcha.
the reason why is because, like Baron Corbin, he was too over his head, right? And then things started going downhill. He lost the crown, he lost money, he is broke, he fell in the gutter and couldn't climb himself out until he gambled a small change and made millions. And now he went back to his feet. And now he is redeeming himself, rebuilding himself in NXT. For Drew McIntyre, I got a feeling that next week we may see Sami Zayn take a win over Drew McIntyre.
Drew is putting himself in a situation where he's hitting rock bottom. He
Yeah.
cannot seem to get out of his own way, and that's his own fault.
And it's
And
frustrating.
it
It's
is.
frustrating. And what happens when you're frustrated? What happens when you're upset? What happens when all things are just going south, right? You're not
You don't.
focused.
Yeah, no
And
focus.
when you accept failure, what do people do when they fail? It's like they always put their heads down. They always look down, and when you look down, you don't see what's ahead of you. Okay. And that's what Drew McIntyre, and then I'm assuming that's the direction Drew McIntyre is in right now.
Right. I agree. And he's going to have to hit that rock bottom to figure out that this was not the proper approach to becoming a world champion in the future. He should have just taken his licks. And yeah, I get it. He was right
Mhm,
in one aspect. He beat Jey Uso, but it's
mhm.
not his call. It's the champ's call. And
Is
if the
it though?
champ,
Is it the champ's call? I mean, we could
you know,
also look at the other side. Gunther is the Intercontinental Champion, and he said it on the media, and he goes, "I'm not here to chase people. People gonna have to chase him now, right? He's the champion. You want to be the champion? Go after the champion, right? You got to qualify, earn yourself a right to be the number one contender for that championship belt. I
right.
think they should do the same thing. Now, on that other note, and I'm gonna ask you this. I know we haven't talked about this. Back in WrestleMania 4, the heavyweight championship belt was defended because it was no, I take it back. It was vacant. The winner of the Royal Rumble or the tournament,
The
excuse me,
tournament, yeah.
WrestleMania, the tournament, won that title. We also witnessed Triple H winning the title
At the Royal
at the
Rumble.
Royal Rumble. And I believe Roman Reigns was the champion, right?
Yeah, he
When
had
he
to
got
defend it.
eliminated, then that title was up for grabs, right?
Right.
Why not? And do you agree? Should the Royal Rumble be that the champion defends his championship belt?
Mm,
And,
no.
and the reason why I ask is because we've been going through a lot of Royal Rumbles, like the winner chooses the champion he wants to go to, right? To main event WrestleMania, right?
Right.
After a while, we have to change it up. We can't. I feel like sometimes that's a stagnant, right? Let's put the WWE Heavyweight Championship on the line at the Royal Rumble. You get everybody participating a shot for that title. Okay. That way they say, I never had an opportunity. Well, yes, you did. You just didn't win the Royal Rumble. You wasn't better than the other 29 guys. And then the next premium event, which is the Elimination Chamber, the best top 6 or 5 or however many people they want to put in the chamber, right? That the whoever wins becomes the number 1 contender for that title.
But see, I was thinking something along the lines like that. I would say not defend the title at the Royal Rumble, in the Royal
Mhm.
Rumble, but the top 6, the last 6 remaining in the Royal Rumble get to be put in that elimination chamber and go at it to become the number 1 contender as a tournament.
But there are already 6 people in there. Why
Put
would you
the
want to repeat it again?
put the last 6 because maybe they feel like, if you use one of the last 6 in the Royal Rumble and you got cheated, well, now you got redemption. 5 other guys got a redemption to go after the Royal Rumble winner to try to strip them of that number 1 contendership to go after that champion.
Okay, I got you. I got you another one then. Why not the top 12? Pair them off, let them wrestle, and those 6 matches, whoever wins qualify for the elimination chamber.
Well, we're doing college football playoffs here all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah, I just threw that out there. All right. So now, well, you know what? That is a great way to match that up. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very
I
much.
mean, it could do they could do something like that. They got all
Yeah.
these pay-per-views, these premium things before WrestleMania. You could do what you want to do to
Mhm.
get, the proper number 1 contender for this title. But I don't feel like the champion should defend his title at the Royal Rumble every year because we could possibly see a new champion every single year at the Royal Rumble, and that's not fair to that champion.
Oh, I love
If
it.
if if you're going to do that and you want me to agree, then I have to throw in a stipulation. The champion has to come in last at number 30
No,
and nowhere else.
no. The stipulation is that on Monday Night Raw, you're going against the former champion. He's
Mm.
gonna have a rematch on Monday Night Raw.
Against the Royal Rumble winner.
But if you're the Royal Rumble, you are the heavyweight champion. The champion has a right for a rematch because he didn't beat him, right? Have it on Monday Night Raw. Or how about every 4 years of the Royal Rumble, that title gets defended?
Maybe something
That way we always change it up, right?
it's just kind of weird because you get people like the Alberto Del Rio's winners becoming a champion. That just doesn't look right.
I love it. To be honest with you, you just never
So,
know. You just never know who's going to be the champ. That's the brilliant of it.
or Hacksaw Jim Duggan becoming a champion because of that, because of winning the
Oh no
Royal
no no
Rumble.
no no no! Now we need to. There's some rules into this.
Oh, now you want
Old timers
no?
are not allowed.
I'm just saying no, no. I'm not saying they're going to be in it, but it's just those
No,
kind of
but they
this.
always throw somebody like don't doink the clown or something while you're there, or who's the other one with the
The Boogeyman.
yeah, the boogeyman. Get out of here. Jake the Snake Roberts is gonna show up on the next one.
Oh my God.
But hey, speaking about the Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes was the first one to declare that he's going to the Royal Rumble. Um, was there anybody else?
No,
I
he's the
thought
only
there
one.
was somebody else.
He's the only one that's on record
No.
right now.
Oh, I thought the Miz said he was going to the Royal Rumble.
Well, right now, I believe the only one is Cody Rhodes that's officially in there.
Okay.
I
Well,
think
it's
Miz
gonna
will
be
be the next one.
interesting. Well, the good one is that we're going to have our Royal Rumble, the Fantasy Royal Rumble of 2023, but the only participants that's going to be in it are the final four superstars dating back from 2022 all the way back to 2009. So there's a list that's going to be coming out, and I'm going to introduce that to you next week on our HHW Show podcast. And based on those names, right? Um, it's gonna be pretty interesting because there are some names that we haven't heard of in a while that
Hmm.
are in it. And of course, you're gonna have the the Shield, right? Because they were there in the final four.
Hmm.
That's one of the factions. Randy Orton, which we found out that he has the most Final Four appearances in the Royal Rumble. I was right in second place because it was Roman Reigns,
Yes.
right? But what I didn't ask you was who comes in third, or is it a laundry list of people that are
There,
tied?
there is a small laundry list of people tied for third place with 5 Final Fours, and I can
Ah,
I can tell you that who you like. I can tell you if you like.
go ahead, go right ahead.
You got Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. You got Stone Cold Steve Austin. You
Okay,
got Kane. You got Triple H, Batista, John Cena, and Edge.
okay,
They all come in at 5 Final Fours.
all right. Some of the other names that uh pretty interesting. Wade Barrett was in the final four.
Yes.
Ted DiBiase, surprisingly.
Mhm.
Who else? Ryback. I forgot
Well,
about that dude.
yeah, you're
Uh,
right. But let's emphasize when you say Ted DiBiase, let's put the
oh,
junior
Ted
behind
DiBiase
there
Jr. Yeah,
because,
yeah, Junior.
well,
Actually, you know what? Oh, technically, there was a Royal Rumble, not at the Royal Rumble event, but there was one on Raw where Ted DiBiase actually came out and paid the guy to hand him over the victory. So it was brilliant, right? Like, all right, now roll your ass over. And ding, ding, ding. I won the goddamn match. Goddamn.
yeah,
Oh
everybody
man.
has a
I
price.
Everybody has a price. And you're right. This whole show was really about everybody has a price.
Hmm.
And the price is right for many. Some is wrong, but what you're gonna do about it, right? Like how you're gonna deal with those costly decisions that you gotta make in order to continue in life. And that's the bottom line because
HHW show told you so.
all right, good job. Well,
Uh,
listen, hey man, it's gonna be awesome matches. I can't wait for Friday Night SmackDown because it's still the post Survivor Series to see the outcome. What happens there? Will Roman Reigns come back and address everybody, and stuff, or will CM Punk make an appearance? That's gonna be pretty interesting there,
yeah,
right? But we do know that there's a couple of matches happening on Monday Night Raw next week, and that is the World Heavyweight Championship. And we also mentioned Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. I don't think I missed anything else there.
right.
But other than that, it's going to be pretty interesting to see. And I just can't wait to share it next week, along with our fantasy Royal Rumble that's going to take place. We'll introduce you all the superstars, and then we'll put it on social media as to what are your votes, who's your top four. So it's going to be fabulous. I can't wait. But tune in. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And definitely check us out on HHWShow.com. Hector, thank you.
Yes.
Frank, if you're hearing us, we love you, man. We miss you.
Yes, sir.
And take care, everyone. We gotta love some wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.